Let's go. Time to grind, get inside your mind. Yeah, we working overtime. That's the only way to climb. We gon' make it in our prime. Signing on the dotted line, cashing checks left and right. That's the way I'm living life. I feel alive when I got a goal in sight. Chip away, I gotta fight. Ain't nobody else in sight. Man, I think I see the light.
What is going on, everyone? And in this video, I'm going to give you my UFC Vegas 76 main card predictions for the upcoming event taking place this Saturday, July 1st, 2023, out of the UFC Apex, Strickland versus Magomedov. And I think mainly this is just an appetizer for UFC 290 International Fight Week next week. Not to say that there won't be any good fights on this one, but not a lot of names here that people are going to know of. The main event, Sean Strickland seems to just be fighting someone just so they can put a main event together. Magomedov, he only has one win inside the UFC, and it's not necessarily against someone who, was on the come up, running through people. So putting a lot of opportunity into Magomedov, and then at this point, Sean Strickland, I guess he's just hanging around in the middleweight division, see what he can do there. And that's what you get when you have a lot of these top contenders that have already fought the champion or lost to a guy who is a number one contender, stuff like that. They kind of get stuck in limbo, just fighting whoever the UFC can throw at them. But yeah, hopefully this one is pretty good. But again, even if it's not, I think UFC 290 next week is going to be a banger. So looking forward to that one. So let's talk about the first fight. In the first fight in the main card, we have Nursultan Ruziboev taking on Bruno Ferreira. For Ruziboev, he's coming in with a 34-8-2 record. For Bruno Ferreira, he's coming in with a 10-0 record. Ruziboev has a lot of experience. A lot of that too is in Russia. I think mainly for Ruziboev, he needs to be careful of getting into any exchanges with Ferreira. Ferreira, I didn't expect him to knock out Gregory Rodriguez that badly. I mean, the power is there, and he's going to come forward. He's going to be aggressive, and it's going to be a short night for Ruziboev if he is unable to get this fight into that grappling realm. Now, for Ruziboev, obviously a lot of submission victories. I anticipate him trying to find a way to get it there. It's just whether or not he gets clipped getting the fight to the ground. That being said, though, Ruziboev, I think he's a little bit more technical. He's not really going to obviously want to brawl, but he picks his shots. He throws out some kicks, keeps that wider stance. He's going to have a good jab going on too. But again, I think a lot of it's just so he can get in close, get that takedown, and see what he can work with against Bruno Ferreira. But I mean, even Ferreira, I anticipate that he's going to be able to get up in this fight. If he does get into a grappling exchange, I don't think Ferreira's just going to get submitted instantly. And Ferreira's going to try to rip his head off when he's in close. And that's just, I'll believe it when I see it. Maybe there's a reason for Ruziboev that he's got so much experience. They call him Black, obviously. Maybe he just goes in there and just submits him in 10 seconds. But I'll have to see that because I want to know how he deals with that power of Ferreira. And it just seems too cliche. You have a lot of these grapplers, The thing about grappling is, yeah, I mean, if they can get it there, it could be night-night. But the fight starts on the feet. And if he can't get it there, Ferreira's going to come after him, man. And that's just a little sketch for me to go with Ruziboev and be like, he's going to pull off the submission. But I guess that is kind of the whole game plan, right? Even if Ferreira drops him, I mean, Ruziboev is going to want him to jump on him. And then now you're in my realm and see what happens. But maybe Ferreira can hang early on. Maybe he can hang. Maybe he can get him off of him and go back to just trying to tee off on him and put him away. So it's going to be an interesting fight, but I'm going to go Bruno Ferreira. I count him out last fight against Gregory Rodriguez. Not going to do that here. I'm going to go Bruno Ferreira to defeat Nursultan Ruziboev. I'll take him to win by round 1 KO TKO. In the second fight on the main card, we have Ismael Bonfim, 19-3, taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, 10-1, 1-0 contest. It's going to be a tough fight for Saint-Denis just because I think there's opportunities when Bonfim's going to be able to just take him out. Like, Saint-Denis definitely has some good stand-up, definitely aggressive. He's willing to trade, but just moments where when you have someone like Bonfim, we saw him do what he did against Terrence McKinney, that ability to be patient in moments of chaos and not just rush in on his opponent and really try to look for those moments to just absolutely kill them. I mean, that's something that he can take advantage of against Saint-Denis because I do think Saint-Denis can threaten. Maybe he gets it on the floor. He can go for the submissions on the feet. At the end of the day, he has power and he has some aggressiveness to himself, but I think Bonfim makes less mistakes. And honestly, we counted out, I think a lot of people counted out, myself included, Bonfim in his last fight against Terrence McKinney. He came into that fight in a 18-3 record. And he was definitely someone that, you can overlook or whatever. But as we know now, he has that experience. He has that ability to go in there and just absolutely crush people. Really good hand speed, good power, that flying knee. I mean, the way he set it up and all that, and just was able to just start absolutely crushing Terrence McKinney. And on top of that too, Bonfim, I think he's going to have pretty good solid takedown defense. He might be able to get a takedown himself. But I think on the feet, he's just going to be able to just handle Saint-Denis. Unless he gets clipped. At the end of the day, anyone can get clipped. But yeah, I think early on this is going to be pretty entertaining. But Ismael Bonfim, I mean, if he can put on that performance I did last time against Terrence McKinney, I just don't see how he can't win this fight. So Saint-Denis, he can eat some shots. I'll give him that. He definitely can eat some shots. But it's going to be tough against a guy who's literally going to be able to throw multiple attacks at you and be calm through all that. So I'm going to go with Ismael Bonfim to defeat Benoit Saint-Denis. I'll take him to win by round 1 KO TKO. In the third fight on the main card, we have Ariane Lipski, 15-8, taking on Melissa Gatto, 8-1-2. Lipski, very violent, queen of violence, obviously. But coming with that violence is not not a good thing when she's getting in her past 5 fights. She's been finished KO TKO in 3 of them. That's concerning against someone like Melissa Gatto. I'm not saying that she has the best striking either, but at the same time, I think she can probably hang against Lipski. She can take advantages when Lipski is willing to eat too many shots, and then maybe she's able to mix in the grappling, see what she can get going there, maybe find some control. I mean, I understand that Lipski has pretty solid takedown defense, but I think Gatto is going to be able to try to control her. Whether or not she's taking her down, getting any submissions, whatever, that's, remains to be seen. But I think Gatto will be able to control her. And then on the feet, I think her striking is getting a little bit better and just having better defense. I mean, at the end of the day, if Gatto, even if it's not hard, but she's landing more significant strikes, taking advantage of moments where Lipski is a little too aggressive, she might find success on the feet. And then she has that other avenue to go to get the fight to the ground and just find that control time. And in a fight where you maybe can't finish your opponent, Ariane Lipski, although she can be finished, it's just, I don't think Gatto is Priscilla Cachoeira or Montana De La Rosa or Antonina Shevchenko, right? I just don't think Gatto is going to, unless Lipski's defense just goes completely out the window. I just don't see Gatto knocking her out or anything like that. But I do see her being able to control her on the ground with the grappling against the fence. And again, maybe landing a little bit more volume on her and then finding, just opportunities to just take advantage of Lipski being a little bit too aggressive. So for me, I'm going to go Melissa Gatto on this one. I'm going to take her to defeat Ariane Lipski. I'll take her to win by decision. In the fourth fight on the main card, we have Max Griffin, 19-9, the veteran, coming in, taking on Michael Morales, 14-0. So anytime you have a moment like this, a fight like this, where you have one fighter in Max Griffin who had many fights inside the UFC, and against a guy like Michael Morales who's undefeated, there are going to be moments where I think Griffin can take advantage of that, especially he can get the fight going late, get those takedowns. And I think he has underrated power on his feet. You don't really think of Max Griffin knocking people out, but when you look at his past 4 fights, he actually has knocked down his opponent in each of those fights. So you got to be really careful with that. Can't be too crazy. Again, he's threatening with that grappling. So Michael Morales, if he is able to get the fight down Max Griffin, Morales is going to have to get up fairly quickly. He's always going to have to be fighting for something, whether it's going for a submission and just getting him off his back end. I think in his last fight, Michael Morales, he was able to, I think he did some pretty good get up against Adam Fugitt. Adam Fugitt did get that one takedown, but outside of that, I thought he did a good job. And then Morales, I think, is probably going to be the better striker, just putting together the better combinations, the faster hand speed. And he's definitely a finisher. Like, I could definitely see Morales taking out Max Griffin early on in this fight as well. But the more the fight goes on, I feel like Griffin is just going to be able to implement that grappling. But if he can't, then it's going to be a problem. So it'll be interesting to see how Morales handles it. I think he has to be a little bit careful, but at the same time, control that, like Bonfim, right? He has to control that ability to get that KO, pick his shots, stay patient, and I think the opportunity will be there. But again, he's fighting a veteran, so I wouldn't be surprised if Griffin can take it dirty, take it into that third round, beat him up, take him down and all that. But yeah, Morales, see what he got, because this is a good opportunity for Michael Morales, especially because Griffin has been fighting, Tim Means, Neil Magny. I mean, he's been in here for a while, so he's not like a beginner. He's definitely fought some guys. I mean, Max Griffin's first fight inside the UFC was against Colby Covington of all people. So I mean, this dude has not had like an easy outing, even from his very first fight. But I like what I see from Michael Morales, and I think if he can put together and be aggressive early on, he can take out Max Griffin. So I'm going to go Michael Morales to defeat Max Griffin. I'll take him to win by round 1, KO TKO. In the co-main event, then even we have Damir Ismagulov, 24-2, taking on Grant Dawson, 19-1-1. For Grant Dawson, man, this dude keeps finding ways to win, right? He just takes his opponents deep. He'll lead shots on the feet. It's not like he has the best hands, but then he just relies on his wrestling and then his grappling to get that submission. 2 wins by submission, rear naked choke in the third round against Mark Madsen, great wrestler, Jared Gordon. You've seen what he can do. Both guys were, well, at least Jared Gordon was finding more success on the feet, but this dude's relentless. Like, even if he's getting tagged up on the feet, he finds a way to keep going, get those takedowns, and then he's going to just keep dragging you down and just try to weigh on you and tire you out so that he can find that. He's basically undefeated inside the UFC. I mean, I did have the majority, the draw against Ricky Glenn, but outside of that, submission rear naked choke, submission rear naked choke, that's kind of what he does. And he likes to do it late. He's not finishing everyone in the first round. So definitely one of these guys who's going to try to just eat shots, and he just relies on his ability to keep coming forward. Whereas someone like Ismagulov, he's going to find success just because I think overall he is the better fighter, but he needs to put it on the feet. He needs to out volume Grant Dawson. He needs to tag him up. He needs to do more on the feet, and he needs to defend, if not all the takedowns, he needs to defend the majority of the takedowns. And if they're against the fence, he has to get out of that. You can't sit in these positions where he's just going to get taken down, because Grant Dawson's going to be able to do that all day long. And, Ismagulov, if he can piece him up on the feet, I think there's going to be opportunities for him to do that. Maybe on the judges' scorecard, he's going to be able to land the harder shots, beat him up. But it's going to be tough, man, because Grant Dawson, like I said, Grant Dawson, I think, just hasn't fought a really good striker. But eventually, and not just a good striker in the sense of like someone who gasses out after the first round, but like someone overall, just all around really, really good fighter. And I feel like Ismagulov is going to be that first guy, where Ismagulov isn't knocking everyone out, right? Obviously. But I think his hands are a lot better than Grant Dawson. And his grappling, although he did take him down, I mean, he fought against Arman Sarukian in his last fight, defended 14 takedowns, and was able to hang with him on the feet. So it's not a slouch. This isn't a guy that's just going to get ran over. So we'll see what happens here. But I think Damir Ismagulov can make this fight competitive. And when it comes down to decisions, we just have to see what happens. So I'm going to go Damir Ismagulov to defeat Grant Dawson. So I'm going to win by decision. In the main event of the evening, we have Sean Strickland, 26-5, taking on Abus Magomedov, 25-4-1. Very similar records. One guy's been in the UFC for a while now, Sean Strickland, in comparison to Abus Magomedov, who's coming off his first win in the UFC against Dustin Stolfus, KO TKO in round number 1. But again, Dustin Stolfus is not, in my opinion, on the same level as Sean Strickland. So Magomedov did what he did, and he is very scary, but you gotta calm down a little bit now. Now, if he goes in here and just kills him, I mean, that's different. But Sean Strickland has been fighting the top level dudes for a while now, right? First fight in the UFC, March 15, 2014. He's coming off a win against Nasruddin Imavov via unanimous decision. Really puts up the volume. I mean, Sean Strickland is this type of dude. He's going to stand in front of you, get in that pocket, just box with you. He'll throw up some head kicks in there too. But he's just overall very technical, but he'll stand right in front of your face and he'll go toe to toe with you. He has the good cardio. Nasty to deal with. You know, he lost a split decision against Jared Cannonier. I mean, we've seen what Jared Cannonier did in his last fight, right? So I think that was a pretty close fight to have, and arguably won that fight against Jared Cannonier. Before that, he gets knocked out by Alex Pereira. I mean, you know, Pereira's a very good kickboxer, nasty power. Maybe got to the moment a little bit too much, and then Pereira was able to take him out. But before that, win against Jack Hermanson, Uriah Hall, Krzysztof Jotko, Brendan Allen. We've seen Allen doing well. Jack Marshman, Nordine Talib. So he's fought some pretty tough guys. Sean Strickland, you know, he knows what he's doing. Abus Magomedov, he's coming in this fight, though. Nasty front kick to the flurry of strikes against Stolfoots. So he has the ability to take these people out. Probably also has some wrestling. Don't know if that's going to be effective here because I think Strickland's going to be able to hang with the grappling, with the wrestling. It's more so if just Magomedov can land these big shots and kind of throw Strickland off his game. But the problem with that, though, is Strickland is just one of these dudes who's going to just keep coming after you and put up those big volume numbers. And so you really have to do what Pereira did to him, which is get him out of there quickly. And if Magomedov can't do that, right, so maybe he does try to land some of those big shots, but he's not really finding success. Meanwhile, Strickland just keeps coming after him, hanging into that pocket range, and just kind of overwhelming him with strikes and just putting on that pace, that grindy pace when it comes to the striking. And at the same time, Strickland, who knows, maybe he engages in the clinch, tires him out a little bit more. I mean, this dude knows how to fight. Like, he's been fighting, you know, those 5-round fights, so this is nothing new to him. He's gone 5 rounds before. And like I said, what happens when the fight goes deep? What if Magomedov can't just kill him, right? And again, even if Sean Strickland loses this fight, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it sets him back too far just because this division with Israel Adesanya is at this point going to fight everyone twice. There's always that opportunity there. And there's a lot for Magomedov to come in and do, right? He's really got to... I don't think Magomedov can like barely win a decision here. Like, he's got to come in here and just annihilate Sean Strickland. And this is going to be really tough, man. It's going to be really tough. He's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage. He is 6'2", Sean Strickland 6'1", so they're going to be similar size. Who knows? Maybe he's able to do it, but I can just see Sean Strickland kind of taking the fight to him, get in that pocket, and then just slowly taking over the fight, putting up those big numbers. Unless he gets clipped early like what happened to him against Pereira, I honestly think we see a classic Sean Strickland performance here. And again, Magomedov, very dangerous, but this is a very good test for him in his second fight in the UFC. I mean, it's a lot. So the UFC has faith in him. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he can live up to the hype. But I'm gonna go Sean Strickland on this one. I feel like I don't have enough UFC sample size to be just being like Abus Magomedov is going to kill him. Like, yeah, of course, if he kills him, then it's like, oh, okay, well, now we know. But I feel like it's super disrespectful to be counting out a guy who's been having 5-round fights against top level dudes and arguably just beat Jared Cannonier, who looked absolutely incredible in his last fight against Marvin Vettori. So it doesn't make sense to be going with Abus Magomedov unless I knew something that no one else knew. So I'm going to go Sean Strickland to defeat Abus Magomedov. I think we see a classic Sean Strickland performance. Second to win by decision. So that'll do it, guys, for my UFC Vegas 76 main card predictions for the upcoming event taking place this Saturday. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the next one too. Got to put out that video pretty soon. Trying to do all this before I get to Vegas. Gonna enjoy the Vegas trip. It's gonna be one hell of a international fight week. Been waiting to go to an international fight week for a long time now. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know who you think is gonna win. Sean Strickland, Abus Magomedov. What are you looking forward to? I'll see you guys in the next video.